Prophet Joshua, widely known as TB Joshua, emerged from Nigeria as one of the most prominent figures in contemporary gospel ministry. His ministry, headquartered at the Synagogue Church of All Nations, SCOAN, reached millions worldwide, both physically and digitally. To understand his impact on global gospel ministry, one must examine not just the scale of his audience, but the methods, messages, and cultural resonance that defined his work. From the beginning, Joshua's ministry was distinct in its approach. Unlike traditional pastors in his region, he embraced media early on, using television and later social media platforms to broadcast Emmanuel TV, the channel he founded, to a global audience. This was not merely a method of outreach, it represented a transformation in how gospel messages could be disseminated across continents, transcending geographic and linguistic boundaries. Millions of viewers in Africa, Europe, the Americas, and Asia tuned in daily to watch his sermons, healings, prophecies, and teachings. Central to his ministry was the emphasis on healing and deliverance. Thousands of followers attested to physical and spiritual breakthroughs, many documenting their experiences through videos and testimonies shared online. These acts of spiritual intervention created a global fascination with SCOAN, drawing pilgrims to Nigeria from far-flung countries, often risking long journeys in the hope of personal transformation. The psychological and spiritual appeal of healing ministry is significant. For many, Joshua offered not just religious instruction but tangible, experiential encounters with what they believed to be divine intervention. Prophet Joshua's influence extended beyond the direct ministry of healing. He played a role in shaping the perception of African prophets on the world stage. In many Western contexts, African pastors were often stereotyped or dismissed. Through his media presence, Joshua challenged these narratives, demonstrating that African ministers could command international audiences, deliver complex prophecies, and influence discourse on faith, morality, and humanitarian issues. His global reach was unprecedented among Nigerian pastors, making him a reference point for aspiring gospel leaders worldwide. The humanitarian dimension of his work was equally notable. Through SCOAN TB, Joshua initiated numerous philanthropic projects, including orphanages, rehabilitation centers, and disaster relief programs. These efforts reinforced the practical dimensions of faith, presenting a model in which spiritual leadership was intertwined with social responsibility. This combination of visible humanitarian work and spiritual guidance strengthened his influence and created a template for faith-based outreach that many ministries would emulate. However, Joshua's ministry was not without controversy, and understanding his impact requires acknowledging the debates that surrounded him. Critics questioned the authenticity of some claimed miracles, the accuracy of certain prophecies, and the organizational transparency of SCOAN. The collapse of a guest house at his church in 2014, which tragically resulted in over 100 deaths, amplified these concerns and raised international scrutiny about safety, accountability, and church governance. Yet, paradoxically, even these controversies contributed to the visibility of his ministry, drawing attention to the complexities of charismatic leadership and the global fascination with spiritual figures. On the theological level, Joshua's sermons emphasized hope, deliverance, and personal transformation, often presented in highly accessible language. This accessibility, coupled with the emotionally resonant testimonies of healed or delivered followers, created a model for ministry that blended experiential spirituality with pastoral guidance. His teachings often addressed everyday human struggles, poverty, sickness, broken relationships, making the gospel immediately relevant to the lived experiences of his followers. This pragmatic approach widened his appeal across socioeconomic and cultural boundaries. Moreover, his ministry demonstrated the transformative potential of combining faith with modern technology. Emmanuel TV and his online presence allowed SCOAN to cultivate a global digital congregation, setting a precedent that many churches worldwide have followed in the subsequent decades. Live streaming, social media engagement, and viral testimonies became integral to gospel ministry, reshaping expectations of outreach, engagement, and community building in the 21st century. The cultural resonance of TB Joshua's ministry also cannot be understated. In a world where religion intersects with media, migration, and globalized communication, he became a symbol of the modern African prophet. He demonstrated that charismatic leadership could transcend national boundaries, offering spiritual authority and practical guidance to a diverse, international audience. His ministry created a narrative that combined spiritual authenticity, humanitarian concern, and media savvy, a model that influenced emerging pastors not only in Nigeria, but across the globe.